Good evening, everybody. Welcome to this week's edition of That's Novel. I'm Stephanie with Stephanie's Book Reports. And let's see, I guess there is a lag. It is not, okay, now it is starting on YouTube. So there's always a couple of second delay between my screen and the other screen. Tonight I have with me author Vanessa Fewings.
Hi, Stephanie.
Thank you for coming.
I'm so happy to be over here. Thank you so much for inviting me.
You're welcome. As y'all can tell, we'll have a not necessarily a clash of the accents, but hers is going to sound much better than mine.
Would you say that?
It's kind of funny because, so Deborah, we had Deborah and Drew on earlier this year when they announced their Buoni, but I can't even say it.
I think it's Buoni Amici Press. I think it's that, because I looked it up.
It's one of those Italian things that I can't, yes. Something Amici Press is supposed to be. It means good friends.
Yes.
So with their new joined effort, so Vanessa has been with Deborah forever and ever. I'm in, and so she has a niece. Deborah has a couple of nieces, but one of them at one time said asked her something about her British friend. Just like, what are you talking about? So she said was talking about me. I'm like, okay. I've never heard of a Southerner being called as a British before. Okay. I don't think our accents sound anywhere near alike. But and that was the most hilarious thing to me. I'm like, okay, well, if I sound British, what does she really think? English people?
That's so cute. I do get called Australian often. I don't mind it. I love Australians.
Yeah, I guess it's similar, but there's a different, I don't know how you tell them apart, really. I guess it's just slang. You have to listen.
No, sometimes I hear someone talking from Australia or New Zealand, and I have to listen very carefully, you know, to kind of just get those little moments in their accent to see, from Australia or New Zealand or English. Yeah.
Saw that, yes. Well, and it's so close. I think, you know, the United States, which Vanessa lives in the United States now, but the United States as a whole, we have a lot of different accents here, but overall, we still, you know, you can kind of gauge where they are. It's an easy dialect, but I think the Commonwealth English, as I call it, Queen's English, whatever you want to call it, the more formal, the English that you speak, your accent, it's hard for, I'm sure y'all can probably easier to tell since, you know, where people are from, you can kind of tell the difference in that kind of thing. But for me, it's like, they all sound the same.
Yeah, I have to, I mean, I love the American accent. I love trying to pick out where people are from. So, yeah.
And you live in a land of no accents, really, because, well, you probably have a lot of Asian accents over there. Vanessa is I'm on the East Coast. She's on the West Coast. You probably have a lot of Asian accents over there. And Hispanic.
Lovely. It's like a melting pot. I really love it. Yeah, it's very healthy and vibrant, and you know, there's anything you want to do here, you know. As an author, I pretty much stay in most of the time, but if you want, when we do go out, it's there's lots to do. So I love living in Los Angeles. You know, I've been here 17 years.
And your accent has not changed at all. You haven't been Americanized.
No, I've felt that. Yeah.
That's a good thing. That's a good thing. If Vanessa is new to you, we have her information linked here on the, it's down there for me. I don't know, wherever y'all are. So it's down there. Her Amazon page and on her social media. So if you want to click on the Amazon link, so we can, for those of you that have not heard or read Vanessa, we'll be going through her list of books, and the live chat is open. If you're on the computer, it's on the right-hand side of your video screen. If you're on the phone, there's like a little live button or something, live chat. I don't know what it says exactly, but there's some little button you have to push to get to the live chat if you want to ask Vanessa questions. I still haven't figured out where it is on the iPad, but it's got to be around there somewhere to be able to do the live chat. So if you have questions, please add them to the, oh, hey, Deborah. Speaking of, you can add them in the chat box, and I will ask Vanessa for you while we are chatting. So you started writing about 3 years, well, publishing, I guess I should say, 3 years ago, 2014, I guess?
I think, believe it or not, I published the first book I published was around 2006, actually. I was actually writing vampire novels way back when. I actually wrote a vampire series called the Stonemasters Vampire Series, if people love vampires. And I wrote my first book called The Stonemasters, and it's basically about, it's very pro-vampire. And I wrote a few books in that series. And then, yeah, I decided to write romance. I switched over, and I just felt compelled to write something contemporary. And so I read 50 Shades, and I was like, oh, I might write something like this kind of in a similar world, although it was my completely new characters. You've read Enthrall, it's all new. And that was it. That was in 2013. And then, you know, things took off with Enthrall, and then Enthrall Her, which was the second book, and Enthrall Him. And really, it was the second book that kind of caught fire. And it ended up on the USA Today bestsellers list, and the whole series, and really exciting. And I really realized then that I'm a romance author, and it's my passion. Like, I'm really excited to be in this world, and I love the community. I love being a member of the Romance Writers Association. I love the networking online. It's a great community. So yeah.
Yes, and if y'all have not, Enthrall was the first book that I read of Vanessa's. I have to check to see, oh, we were talking about this beforehand. I need to check my Goodreads, because I know I read Enthrall, and I can remember absolutely loving it. Y'all, that was like 3 years ago. Deborah says, hi, Vanessa.
Hi, Deborah. Hello, Deborah. Hi, Drew.
And I know Deborah won't have a clue. Let me look on my phone to see here. Got to look up. This is my handy dandy Goodreads app. And if y'all have never heard of Goodreads, it's and you're a reader, it's the best place to keep up with.
Yeah, it's fantastic hangout. It's a fantastic hangout for readers, and every author really needs to be on there. I always say we have to, you know, you have to be on there and respect all the readers that are over there, because it's kind of their place, very much so. But it's lovely for authors to be over there and chatting with readers, and you know, so.
Yes. Oh, the question was, how many books of Vanessa's have I read? Can you answer that? She said, Deborah says, what's the question? How many Vanessa Fewing books have I read? That's what the question is. Anyway, yes, I read Enthrall. Let me see. That was in 2014. So anyway, y'all, and it's pretty. Here's the cover, in case y'all are.
Oh,
yeah. I love that chandelier. No, I can't. I can't tell you how many books you read.
I know the 3 books have chandeliers on them, and I just love those covers. I think they're so pretty. And you know, it's interesting because when I was creating them, I remember people saying, well, you know, it may not look like a romance novel. And I thought, no, my readers are smart enough to work it out. Really, it's been fine. Oh, yeah.
Yes, there's her. And then him. Let me see. Maybe. Yeah, this one is brown if you can't see the background and the chandelier. It's kind of hard with the glare. but they are very pretty. I mean, that is one of the elegance about it. I think the Enthrall is probably my favorite chandelier.
Yes, it's so pretty. Yeah.
Oh yes, ever since they're sexy. Yeah, they really are. I mean, there's nothing. And then the novella, the difference.
Oh yes, I had help designing that one because that was more complicated because the chandelier is separate from the hands. Actually, that's a little secret. So we had to do a Photoshop with that. So
I don't know if y'all can see. There's like there's a chandelier which is really pretty, and there's a hands with cuffs, handcuffs, and they're connected to the chandelier.
That's Richard's Reign. The audiobook is read by Aaron Shedlock, and he's a rising star in the audio community. So I'm excited. He's amazing.
You should read some of your. Do you write? Now, see, this is kind of funny, and it would make sense to me, but most people are going to be like, "What are you talking about?" You write in an accent, like when you hear yourself talk. Do you write?
Oh no, not really. Because in the Enthrall sessions they're all American, so I really had to work hard, and even did some when the book came out. Even did some editing after the fact because, for example, I used a couple of words that you wouldn't use in America, like lift versus elevator. So that was back in the day, and I had to go back in and tweak the file because a reviewer caught that, and I was like, I didn't even know that. I'd lived in America a while. I was like, you don't call them lifts? And I remember saying that to my sister who lives there, and she went, no. And I was like, oh no. And I got in and we had the files re-edited and tweaked to really bring it up to a better standard, taking out the list. And then, so no, I write soul of the character. Like I feel their passion, but Mia's, I think Mia's from Charlotte, I think, in the Enthrall session. She's the star, she's the protagonist. And so I was trying to write from her voice. So she's American.
Mm-hmm.
but I have this book. This is The Chase, on my latest book. Luckily, she's British. So it was fun to put in the British words because I really had restrained on that. Obviously, there's a lot of restraint on writing words like bum and and a lot of tea drinking, obviously, in the series, and all the things that you love doing in Great Britain. I can't put those in, so I had more free reign. I didn't have to worry as much. But yeah, the Enthrall sessions had to be very guarded that I'm using Americana.
It should be much different. It's oh gosh, I'm echoing. Does anybody hear echo, or is it just me?
Okay. I don't hear echo.
Okay, good. I guess it's just my system here. What is wrong with this thing? It's very strange. Sometimes I'll be fine and don't hear an echo, and then I start to hear myself. I'm just like, stop. But I don't want to hear myself again. I will notice those kind of things like you mentioned about like the lift. There'll be books that I will read and I'll notice, wait a minute, I thought this was an American story.
You really need I think you really need an American editor to catch those. So yeah, I had a Canadian editor, so who was amazing, but she was like me, she didn't even think of it. So I now have an American editor when I do my indie books because I'm indie and traditional. They're catching it. They're both American and they're catching my stuff.
But I bet it would be fun to write finally, not like finally, but you know what I'm saying? Like take a breather from the Americans and write British, and then you can actually.
It's just less stressful. Yeah, it's a little less stressful. But I think we all talk from the heart. We're all talking from a passionate place. So yeah, it's just those words you have to be careful of, I think. Yeah.
Yes. Well, and the difference between knickers and underwear or pants.
Yes. Panties, yeah, that's true. Yeah, all sorts of things. You'd be surprised. Aluminium, yeah, stuff like that. So And then, of course, it helps with Cameron. It doesn't really matter with Cameron Cole, who's in the Enthrall Sessions, because I'm writing a guy who's a psychiatrist, so he's going to be using big words. You know, so it doesn't really matter, you know, either way, whatever accent I'm writing in. He's American, but yeah, he's just a smart
So
American.
for their audio, you'd have to do dual, you could even read your own.
No, that's, yeah, they actually have Morag Sims, actress Morag Sims, reading The Chase, narrating. There's an audiobook, and she's amazing. She's a professional actress, and she brings to Zara this wonderful naturalness. You know, this she's feisty, but she's also got this sweetness and kindness. So I couldn't do it. I'd be too breathy probably, and too, yeah, I couldn't. It's a real job, I think, to be a narrator. It sounds easy, it looks easy, right? But I don't think it is.
Yes. Well, and two, you would probably read from a critical standpoint instead of just, you know, because you're looking at your words thinking, I wrote that. Does this make sense? Or, you know, I'm assuming that would be what an author would probably be looking at when
I might do that, yeah, with my older work. I might look and say, why? I could have rewritten that. But it's fine, yeah.
So The Chase, when did that release?
That just came out in June, at the beginning of June. It's part of the Icon trilogy, which is a series that's based in the art world. It's it always sounds, I always think it might sound a little stuffy when I say that, but it's really a romance. It's romance heavy, and it's super sexy. It's as I would say as sensual and as erotic as the Enthrall Sessions. Fast paced. So it's suspense, romantic suspense. And it's so far it's the Chase, the Game, and the Prize. So 3 books in that series. The second one comes out in 2 weeks. I'm so excited. I'm nervous and excited. Yeah.
That's great. And they're all published through Harlequin?
Yes. All published through HQN Books, which is Harlequin. And so that's amazing. That's my first big traditional publishing deal. So I'm excited. Yeah. I mean, I have been with small presses. All my books are now traditionally published, indie published. But that was the first time I went with the top 5 publisher. Yeah.
Exciting.
Yeah. It's lovely to be both. It's lovely to do both.
Yes. Did you find it to be terribly different? I have, excuse me, allergies. And my nose is itching. I've noticed like a couple of my authors that are hybrids as well. When they get their first traditional edits, they're like, "Whoa, this is extremely different."
Yes, when you get those edits back from, I mean, I have an incredible editor, Debbie Khan, who's amazing for my indie. But yes, when I received those notes back, they were large and they were sweeping, and they were 3 pages, and I thought, what? But of course, they were good notes. They're usually great, good notes. But when you've implemented the notes, you realize they're amazing notes, and they bring the book up to a different level. They catch things that I might not catch, and they might help you to not make a fool of yourself, which is really lovely. And so I was writing about the art world, so they made sure every reference to a piece of art was accurate. They made sure the dates were correct, the names were correct. They'd got my timeline spot on. Like, they were just not that, and Debbie does that too, but these books were more ambitious. The Icon trilogy, I'm talking about between Tobias and Zara, but the backstory is a lot of paintings. So it was very ambitious and a lot of hard work. And it was exciting.
Research.
Right? Oh my gosh, a lot of research and more research. And I'm writing Zara as a forensic art specialist. So she has to come over like she knows what she's talking about in the art world, and use certain terminology. And that was fun to write. So yeah, I'm excited about this new series. Yeah.
Yes, you could spend days and days and days. Instead of hanging out at home all day writing that book, you could spend it at an art gallery asking a bazillion questions to the curator.
I did. I have been lucky. I'm a member of LACMA here in Los Angeles, and I would go and visit. There's a painting in LACMA that I talk about that's hanging in Tobias's gallery. Tara Bias owns his own art gallery in Los Angeles. So I was able to kind of borrow that from LACMA in my mind and insert that into the book. And it's the most beautiful painting. So excited to be able to be amongst art. And I've always loved art. I mean, when I was 15, I used to literally get on the train in Aldershot, where I lived in England. I was 15. I remember it so well. And I would go up to London and go to the art gallery on my own. And there was just so many beautiful paintings. And so I think I always had a thing for art. I didn't always understand it. I didn't, it took me a long time or writing these books really to have a true comprehension of what art really is and what it means, and the amount of work that goes into art. And so I learned so much. And I wanted to put those aspects into the books, but not have them so heavy that you feel you're wading through facts. I wanted to make it light on its feet, so you really got to enjoy the romantic elements, and those are hopefully a beautiful backdrop, and they enhance the book.
Yes, it's different. I think for those of you that are watching that haven't ever been to a major art gallery. I mean, I grew up in a decent town in the state capital of North Carolina, and we have an art gallery there. I've been there, and I loved seeing the paintings and stuff. When I went to France when I was 16, and I went to the Louvre, and there was so much art there, and different, like the sculpting, the sculptures and all that stuff, and then like paintings. And it's really like, you look at them, like I was very disappointed in the Mona Lisa. I have to say that. I will tell anybody, I was very disappointed in her. I'm like, why are we making such a big deal over this?
Small. That's because it's pretty small, huh?
Yes, it's like 8 by 10. Really, people,
It took him years, though. It took him years. I think it took him 3 years to paint that.
Can you imagine sitting for 3 years for a painting? I'd be like, dude, are you not done yet?
He lived, Leonardo da Vinci lived opposite the Mona Lisa. I think her name is Lisa oh gosh, I can't remember her last name now. I was just writing about it. But he lived opposite Mona Lisa. He lived just down the street from her. So she probably just popped over.
Yes, that'll be easy, right? You wouldn't have to
do a bit of shopping, pop over to have your face painted. Not knowing
by somebody who was nobody at the time.
Yeah.
But it was
one day, yeah. Her husband commissioned the painting, I think, because she'd given birth to a son. I think that was the reason behind that painting.
Yes, the big thing. Gotta have a boy.
Yeah.
When I was there at the Louvre, the La Coronation de Napoleon was across the hall from her, literally opposite walls from each other. And the coronation of Napoleon is this long, and the Mona Lisa is this big. And so you see, and I don't know if the coronation of Napoleon is my absolute favorite painting I have ever seen.
Really?
In my lifetime. And it was painted by memory.
Wow.
So if you can imagine being at the coronation, Richelieu is crowning Napoleon as the King of France, and Josephine is standing behind him, and they're in their things, whatever their queen robes, with their long train things. I don't know what those things are called. And it's vibrant. There's a lot of red in that painting. There's tons of people. It's almost like it's in a theater.
Wow.
there's tons of people all around in the background, and then like right in the middle is Josephine and Napoleon, and then you have, you know, Richelieu and all the other cardinals, whoever all they are behind him, you know, crowning him as king, and it was painted by memory.
I think it's wonderful. See, art touches you. Art just touches you in ways, you know, that other mediums don't. And I just, you know, painting is just so profound to me. I just love art. And I did the talent to pull all those paintings off is just breathtaking. The patience and the, you know.
Yes. Yes. I can't imagine the endless patience it takes to make. Well, I mean, I guess that's why they start so many and they have so many laying around. They don't lie. I mean, you know, I'm assuming, I've never met a painter in real life, but I would assume reading, you know, not a professional painter, one that does art for a living. I would assume they have a lot of stuff, just reading books that have them included. They have stuff laying around they've never finished because it's crap, but it might be the best thing since sliced bread. The rest of us, you know.
That's true. And interestingly enough, some of the paintings that we see were painted, they had assistants to help them paint. Not all of them, obviously, but now and again, a painting will go across through Sotheby's. I'll be looking at the painting and they'll be able to identify that it was in fact an assistant or, you know, one of their students that painted it, following the same methods as the master. And of course, these amazing forensic art specialists are able to tell the difference. They're able to x-ray them and take paint samples, and it's a fascinating world.
I bet it has to be tedious, but also
no, I think it's exhilarating for them. I think they're, you know, they're in their bliss, really. So for us it might be because of the complexity of it, but for them I think it's like a treasure hunt.
Yes. Well, I guess you could kind of equate it to like the CSI, you know, all the crime scene investigators, because they meticulously have to go through everything. So you
they do everything from the frame to what's on the back of the painting to authenticate it, to the paint. Like certain white paints weren't available hundreds of years ago. And so they're able to, Zara talks a little bit about this in the book, but they're able to take samples of paint and say, well, this wasn't around hundreds of years ago, so how can it be an authentic painting from the 1800s? I think it's titanium white or something. You know, you shouldn't find titanium white. I think that's what it is. Anyway, it's just it's a really exciting world, and I was so excited to be writing in it.
Well, it's Harlequin, so I'm assuming that it has a little bit of spiciness, or I guess a little bit, just a little on the erotic side.
It's incredibly erotic. Yeah, it's my usual style of passion, intimacy, very sensuous. Yeah, I write those scenes because I think they're important for the relationship and how we see our characters grow. So I don't shy away from them. I think that that's how we reveal how our characters are becoming closer, and also how they're giving up a lot of their resistance, and they're more willing to show their authentic side. So I think those moments are important, and I like to write them tastefully, but it's very erotic. Yeah. It's like the enthrall sessions. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. That's for those who really steamy. I mean, you know, yeah. It's some BDSM elements, what I would say.
Yes, there is no BDSM in the Icon trilogy, but it is highly erotic. And I'm not, you know, I think it's important to, you know, that you see that passion and that love. And I'm so happy that they let me, you know, show off my skills at being able to show that in the book. So, you know, that love and passion.
Yes, yeah. Right. Good scenes. Do you find that I hear this often And I saw this the other day. Somebody that's writing for the first time, they were talking about how they don't like writing sex scenes, and I'm like, why did you choose to be a romance author if you don't like writing sex
You might
scenes?
think that, yeah, some authors are told that you should put them in, and your book might do better. But the first time I wrote an erotic scene, probably, gosh, I don't know, 12 years ago, I don't know. I remember thinking, oh my gosh, what have I just written? And I deleted the whole thing. And then as I was writing romance, I wrote erotic scenes in my vampire books, but as I was writing this series, it was just very organic, and it was just very natural. And also when I'm writing, it's technical to try to get everything right. So you want to make sure it's accurate, and you're trying to sweep the reader off their feet, really, and keep them swept up in these moments. So, yeah. I mean, it's so nice. A lot of the reviews I get for the Icon trilogy is it's hitting everybody's buttons, all the ticks in the boxes that they love. Because these are smart women who love these books.
Most definitely. Most definitely. Most definitely.
Yes.
Well, and it's a well-written romance. Hello, say that 5 times fast. Is I think it touches a lot of people, and like 50 Shades is vastly loved. It's loved everywhere. And she really did well, I think, at connecting her reader with their intimate scenes. So if, as you connect your readers to, well with the passionate love scenes in your books, people eat that stuff up.
I love to write about all aspects of life. I think in Enthrall Secrets, I even was writing I'd written about death before in my vampire books, of course, but this was about writing about the death of a character in Enthrall Secrets, and I wanted to explore that, and I had to be very brave. So I think sometimes as writers, you put yourself in a spot where you're going to write something, and the more you do it, the easier it gets, and then you want to really elevate the craft and make it as good as it can be. So that's important, that you're giving a high quality book or high quality reading experience that's fun to read. I think people are giving up their time and they want to be swept away, and I want to be able to do that as well as I can. So I'm really so excited to be publishing with Harlequin, and it's such a joy to go into Barnes & Noble and see the book there. The first book's in there right now, and so you can get it in Barnes & Noble, in Ralph's, even in your grocery store. I think some people are going into their grocery store and seeing it. So that's exciting.
Oh, I will have to look, and I'll be like, look, I know this lady.
So if you go to Barnes & Noble, you can pick it up in there. Yeah.
Yes, we have Barnes & Noble, and
it's got a velvety finish. Look, it's so pretty. It's got like this velvety finish to it. So you can rub it on your face too.
You can snuggle with it. What was I going to say? Oh, yeah, so I'll have to look at that the next time I go. My Barnes & Noble here has such a tiny, tiny, tiny romance. It's like 2 shelves. Like, they're...
Let me know. You must let me know if it's in there.
Yes, I'll take a picture and say, look, Vanessa, look. As Deborah said, she'll hunt it down this weekend.
Thank you, Deborah.
Yes, I think they're going. Y'all will be in Delaware this weekend. Is that where you're going? There's a signing. Is that this weekend? The Delaware signing. Samantha Chase is a friend of ours.
Oh, lovely.
She is signing with 3 other authors at a Barnes & Noble in Delaware, and so oh yes, that is.
I love her covers. Samantha Chase's covers are spectacular.
Yes, They've done a great Source Books. Her publisher, thank you. Why wasn't that coming to my mind? Is they've done a great job rebranding her her covers, and even now her indie covers are really cute. Like the bridal ones, they're really. She had the latest or the last one in her bridal series she had the shoes at she signs with us at Authors in the City. She had those shoes with us with her at the signing. The diamondy, glittery, sparkly white bridal shoes, tennis shoes. She had them with her on her table. I was like, you better watch this.
Oh yeah, I just saw somebody with shiny Louboutins that are like fluorescent or something. Did you see that? I think you can buy. Not that I would ever buy Louboutins, but anyway, I think they're like fluorescent, like unicorn fluorescent. I think. I think that's the color. Yeah.
They're probably like $10,000. Those shoes are so.
I know. Well, say hello to Samantha for me. If you're going, you're not going.
Yes, no, not me, but Deborah and our friend Donna. They're going. Yes, okay. Deborah, you'll have to tell her hello. Yes, my family and I are going on vacation this weekend. So yeah. Nice. Woo, before school starts, our last summer hurrah here. And of course, my hair is not going to cooperate with the ponytail, so I have to try to put it back up again. Sorry, everybody. My beauty salon here in my chair. Did you do paranormal? Was your paranormal that you started with? Was it paranormal romance, or was it just?
It was paranormal. It was paranormal with a touch of romance, because I'd loved reading Anne Rice's, and so I was that's what I started writing right at the beginning, because that's what I loved. And then in those moments, there was romance in those moments, and I was always like, oh, that's interesting, a bit of romance in between the vampires doing what they were doing. But it was very pro-vampire. This is Anne Rice's. She influenced me. I read my first book, Interview with the Vampire, when about 15, and never looked back. I'd already written my first book at 9 though, so I was already writing at a very young age, and that was it. So there was elements of romance, and then I wrote a romantic novel, comedy, I think called Piper Day, and that's and then I just decided Enthrall really just came out of nowhere, and it was a pretty amazing experience. The characters were just so strong because it was contemporary, I think. So it felt so real writing that material. Whereas when I was writing vampires, it always felt like, well, this is fantasy. Even though they did feel real. But this for me, writing contemporary, and I love that feeling.
Yeah, more personable. Like your characters could be on the street, whereas, like you'd meet them walking around.
That's
whereas
right. Yeah,
your vampires would be like,
yeah,
not real.
There's always that part of the brain that says, yeah, but you can't do that when you're writing romance. So, yeah,
very true, very true. Oh, goodness, sorry. I need to sit up in my chair because I'm going to start yawning here in a minute. My my comfy recliner chair, and I'm all nice. Eating and I'll be yawning here in a minute. I even took a nap this afternoon, so I wouldn't yawn. But anyway, it's a futile attempt to not yawn. But anyway, I didn't. You're not boring me. I don't know why. I guess because I get to talking and
It's almost 9 there. You're allowed to yawn. It's still early for me.
Yes, the sun is still out. I mean, you see behind me, it's dark.
Yeah. That's so weird trying to get used to the time difference still.
Yeah. Because it's only it's close to 5 o'clock for you, right? Or no, close to 6.
Yeah, it's like 20 to 6. Yeah, I've still got to have my tea.
Yes, this is what kills me. I have a blogger friend that she's from England originally, and she was when I first met her, she was living in Australia, and then she moved back to England, and then they moved to New Zealand, and now she's moving back to England again. And all kinds of confused. It's just, so she would always have tea this late too, and I'm like, were you supposed to do that in like the middle of the afternoon? Like, it always seemed like it would be like a 3 or 4 o'clock type of day, you know, like thing, instead of like a 6 o'clock kind.
Yeah. Yeah. Love our tea.
Tea.
I'm going to England
that would be
actually. I'm excited. I'm going to England next year in March. I'm going to go to the Leeds event. There's a signing event March 3rd, I think it is, and it's hosted by Hourglass Events. So there's lots of authors gathering in Leeds. I think it's the Marriott. So if you're in England or watching this in England, I'm going to be back in March. I'm excited.
Yes, y'all have to see, We'll have to see Vanessa in March. That would be amazing. I haven't been to England before. I think it would be kind of cool to go and, you know, go to a real tea.
Yeah.
You know, we drink, you know, sweet tea here.
I have English tea here. I have Thai food and I've Tetley. Like, I can't go without that.
Well, the Tetley is good. I don't think I've ever had typhoon before, but that do you have it daily? Do you have tea time daily?
Yeah, that's my routine. Before I write, I get up really early in the morning and I have a big mug of tea that's the size of a house, and then I just start writing. So that's kind of my routine. That's my bliss. Now I'm writing Enthrall Forever, which is my final and probably my final Enthrall book ever, with Cameron and Mia. So yeah, I'm going to be writing that, and that's going to probably come out in February. So Enthrall Forever, yeah. So I'm excited. We'll have the cover soon. We'll have the cover in November, I think, for that. And so I'm writing that at the moment.
Y'all heard it here. Enthrall Forever. Yes, so that's exciting. I guess all of your Harlequin stuff is done. So now you can do all of your, it's all written, right? The whole the trilogy.
Yeah, the whole series is finished. We're going to release the game on August the 29th, which is the second book. The Chase is already out. The game is coming out in 2 weeks. And then the prize, we were trying to work out when to release that, but it's going to be next year now. But we're going to be able to put it in more places, I believe, like airports and Target and Walmarts and stuff like that. So that's what we're going to be doing. So yeah, the third book will come out next year now. But a lot of my readers who get a lot of early arcs, I'm going to try to aim to get those out. Obviously, it depends on Harlequin, but those will go on NetGalley early next year. So do not worry, my readers. My loyal readers and bloggers and reviewers will be getting that early. So not too long to wait. Yeah.
Yeah, you think like now it's August, you feel like 2018 is such a long way away, but it's not. It's not
really. Yeah. Once we tip into September, or all of a sudden it's Halloween and then Christmas. So but I always like to have, I'm now in a position where I've always going to have a book coming out. Hopefully I always want to be in a position where I'll have something that's finished, and it was a book ahead at least. So right now I think I'm 2 books ahead, so that's nice.
Oh yeah, that's very helpful. I was talking to one of my authors yesterday, I think, and we were talking about her publication, and she was like, I would love to be ahead, and I'm like, well, you got to get started with this one first, and then you have to wait. You can't just like.
That was the first time that happened for me, because writing for Harlequin is usually you're writing and then they usually don't publish it for about 18 months. And that's a normal traditional publishing schedule. It gives them time to do everything they need to do with that book. Whereas when you're indie, it can take you 6 months, I think, from the beginning of the book to having it published. So it's a much shorter schedule. So traditional, it's usually pushed off a little bit into the future, but then it comes around really quick. Like you think, oh, I've got all this time, like I did with the game. I have the game here. Oh, let me see. This one here. So yeah, this is coming out. This is these are Canadian models that posed especially for the series. It's so cute. Yeah, so this is coming out in 2 weeks. So yeah. Yeah, and then the other one, the prize.
I wonder if they have this in store now.
I don't know. It may not come out until September in stores, but it might be. Yeah, it might be on August. Yeah, on August 29th, that'll be in Barnes and Noble. Yeah. Because when this other book came out, I went over to my local Barnes and Noble, and I saw it on the table in the reception area, you know, in the Barnes and Noble, and that was the first time I'd ever had that experience. I was incredibly grateful, you know, to have that experience. Very grateful to Harlequin, and so that was pretty special. You know, I've been writing a while, so.
Yes, exactly. You should take lots of pictures, autograph the books.
Yeah, I did. I autographed a few around LA, so you must go check them out.
Yes. If you live in LA, you're going to go check out the Barnes and Noble site.
I signed a few in Studio City, and Barnes and Noble at the Grove. So yeah.
Yeah, there you go. You can get signed copies. Deborah says she'll be checking. So yeah, for sure.
Thank you, Deborah.
Yes, she can say, I knew her.
That's so cute. I know authors, we're usually hiding behind our computers, and then we come out now and again for a signing or to chat. So it's nice. It's nice to talk to humans.
Yes, have adult conversation outside of your head.
Yeah.
And your fingertips.
I know.
Do you want to Vanessa showed me a picture. I don't know if that's like just for your, do you want to share your photo from yesterday, or is that secret?
I posted it on my Facebook page. I have actually shared it, but I can show it to you now. It's so cute. It's I'm going to show you this one. This is Lance Bass. I met him yesterday with his husband, Michael, who's an amazing artist. Ronnie Crowell had created this event called Artgasm in Los Angeles, and him and some other artists and Michael was showing their paintings, and I got to meet them, and we did some fun photos. So I posted them all over because it was so much fun. Yeah.
Yes, that's like a once in a lifetime. I mean, well, you live in LA, so I'm sure you probably see a lot of them running around everywhere. But that's almost like a once in a lifetime kind of thing. Really,
I know, it was really cute of them to do that. And yeah, I'll be posting more photos too later. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
They were lovely girl moments.
Gracious to do that. They could have said no, and they were so gracious, and they were so and they actually took copies to read. They said they're doing a lot of traveling, so Lance and Michael, so they're going to take the books, and they said they're going to read The Chase, so that would be fun if they do. Yeah.
Yes, for sure. Yes, for sure. Especially if they post about it on their social media afterwards.
That would be lovely. That would be lovely. And it's so cute when I have male readers saying they love the book. I mean, I absolutely love that, because I do always think of female readers when I'm writing. But yeah, when I have male readers, I actually have letters for male readers and a message saying that they really love the book, or they leave a lovely review. I'm always like so, impressed that they love doing that. So
my I don't know if you know or not, but I am a literary agent as well as a blogger.
That's fantastic. I didn't know that.
Thank you. It's a year old. I'm actually Deborah's agent, which is why I said she can't get rid of me, because she's just stuck. Well, my attorney that is the attorney for my agency, he and I are childhood friends, but he and his wife read a lot, and he surprises me. But they read 50 Shades of Grey together. He's always asking me, what should we read now? What should we read now? What books should we read? So I'll have to tell them. They live not here where I am, So I'll have to say, go to your Barnes and Noble and look up Vanessa Fewings so you can read this. You'll be excited to
That's so wonderful. That would be wonderful. And you know, being for us authors, being represented, I have an agent, Kimberly Whalen, and I just love her so much. And it's such a unique relationship. And I always want to do well for her. And I feel incredibly blessed to have, you know, I don't take it for granted at all. So I know that you'll make a lot of authors happy when you represent them. It's like having an amazing person on your team, amazing advocate.
Yes, she's great. I would love to meet her in person. She's phenomenal. And, you know, I look, even before I became an agent, I looked to see, you know, I was watching what people were doing, who they were represented by, you know, just before it even was a concept in my head that I could do that same job. You know, and it's like, oh, she has Michelle Layton too. And
Yes.
I absolutely love, I adore Michelle. And so just seeing, you know, like what Kimberly does for her authors is Whalen.
Extraordinary. Yeah, as I'm sure you are. You know, we're very lucky, us authors, to have someone like that. Yeah.
Yes, and she knows the business. I mean, she's very good at what she does.
Yes. Yeah. She knows on both sides. She knows the indie world and she knows the traditional world. She knows things that we will never know. And
she's been doing it for a long time.
Yeah, she's really talented. And she's now got her own agency, the Whalen Agency.
Yeah, she was with Trident before.
Correct. Okay. Yeah. But I actually met her for the first time at the Romance Writers Association, and it was just a highlight of the whole event for me, meeting her and spending time with her. Yeah.
Yes, she has some really big clients. So, I mean, you're in a great space.
Yes, Maya Banks, Sylvia Day, Louise Bay. Yeah, I'm in amazing company. I'm very, very lucky, very grateful. Yeah.
Yes, she's phenomenal. I watch all of these great, you know, like, not really like stalk them, but, you know, just like an author, I'm stalking other agents. Just you know, see how they're doing. And she's definitely one I always check out because she has some phenomenal authors. It's like, well, what are they doing? What can I emulate some of that stuff for my people? I want them to be
wonderful connections.
Phenomenal.
Wonderful connections for film and TV rights. And she's, you know, she gets back to you in email so fast. So it's like, yeah, really, I'm very lucky.
On top of everything.
That's it for me. I think that's, hopefully she'll represent me for the rest of my life. If she'll keep me.
There you go.
If I keep
keeping you forever. That's wonderful. Yes, especially when you can have that kind of relationship, because really an agent and an author relationship is really, you know, it can be like your next best friend. I mean, not necessarily have to be that close, but with your books and your business, I mean, that's
it's like whatever she says is as is. So yeah, I'll go with whatever she says. So yeah.
Yeah, so I'm sure she has tremendous, I mean, she's got a lot of experience and lots of advice. I'm sure she's just magical.
She is. Yeah. And I want to say to authors who, you know, I feel this, and you're an agent, so you'll understand, but I want to say this to a lot of authors that for a long time, you know, I kind of thought, okay, I'll just go indie, and I almost got an agent back in the day, and it didn't work out. I did have a manager, but I didn't have an agent, and it was a book to TV manager, and then I moved over to Kimberly. But I want to say to authors, just keep going, just keep trying to, you know, find someone who's a good fit for you, because it will happen. Just keep working on your craft, believe in yourself, most of all. It will happen. You'll get an amazing agent, and it's worth it.
Yes, for sure, because you can hear so many horror stories, you know, but that's like anything. You can have a specialty type job anywhere, and your boss be like the worst thing ever, and then you go to another company doing the exact same thing and have the best relationship with your coworkers and your supervisor and all that kind of stuff. You know, I mean, it's different everywhere. And yeah, I hear all kinds of stuff about agent-author relationships, but you just have to find the one that's right for you. And just because they accept you doesn't mean that that's necessarily the best one for you. So yeah. I hope my ladies are all like, we love her, you know. I try so hard to make sure that they, you know, that I'm working, you know, for them. And that's, I think sometimes people lose sight of that too. Who they're actually working for. I mean, yeah, you own your own business, but it's your clients that make or break your business.
And I think if it's a great symbiotic relationship where they can see the authors working hard and striving to keep the publishers happy, you know, and working really hard to do that. So I think if they can see that you're going to do that, it's, you know, it's good.
My husband just messaged me that they're headed back, so hopefully if they get here before we finish, hopefully they'll stay downstairs because my kids are like elephants. They are loud. Just message him back to say we're still going. Don't come in the house because they'll be loud.
Oh, that's fine. Tell them to come in. No, they must come in. It's us.
Loud. I mean, really, they're like they can stay downstairs.
That's fine. We're good with that.
They are just crazy. But anyway, they've been out. They were going to go swimming this evening, but we have these thunderstorms here that we've been having. But there is a hurricane out in the Atlantic Ocean, and so of course we're getting that spread out the arms of that hurricane.
Wow. Gosh. Yeah, we don't get too many of those here, if any.
Yes. You just have the big earthquakes. We have small earthquakes.
Yeah, we have the threat of big earthquakes, so yeah.
Rumble.
We have our earthquake kit.
Yeah, that would make your writing be like a little.
Well, I'd be under the desk or actually, you know, trying to hide. So
hold on to the laptop.
I know.
Don't go anywhere.
I know. Yeah.
That would be like, oh no, I can't lose my work.
I know, especially if you're in the
zone.
I have actually heard a few shakes, and I just keep typing because I'm in a good spot. But obviously, if it kept going, I think I've been in one big earthquake where everything was shaking bad. But anyway.
I haven't been in a few times that I've been to California. I don't think that there's been any. If there was a rumble, I didn't notice it. We've had one on this side. Like I live in South Carolina and I'm in the Myrtle Beach area, and the Charleston, South Carolina had an earthquake a few years ago. Maybe. Wow. Well, it's been more than a few. It's probably.
What was it?
10 years ago now. It was like 3.5, 4 on the Richter scale. It wasn't like large, but it was enough that it rumbled all the way up here. It's hour and a half, hour drive, and we felt the shocks all the way up here. So I can imagine what yours right on top of that.
Yeah.
The weather. Do you have in England? Do they have any of that? I mean.
No,
earthquakes.
I do believe they have them, but you don't feel them. I think, like you couldn't detect it. Like all the time growing up in England, I didn't know of it. I didn't even think of them. We'd had a lot of rain. It's very green in the United Kingdom, very lush, very beautiful. So there's a lot of rain. So it's like Europe, yeah. But here, we had a lot of rain in January. Yeah.
And that was it. That was the whole month. And
so, yeah. We were very surprised. We were like, it was like a river going down the street, and we're like, oh, that's new.
Yes. You know, one of the strangest things that I've ever seen is being in the desert, like going to Arizona, and they have bridges, and you're like, It's
Really?
the desert. Why do you have a bridge?
Yeah. Wow.
But they do get some rain, and so when they do, because it's the desert and the ground doesn't soak it up so quickly, they have, they'll have
That's good. They've thought about this.
yes, exactly. They'll have some standing water in low-lying ditch kind of looking areas. But for the most part, it's just weeds growing up around. So it looks very weird. Very, very weird.
So love to go. I would so love to go. I have to go to a signing out there. If there's any signings out there, let me know. And I'll join you.
Yes. I'm thinking that somebody, I don't know. I think RT was looking at going out there. Maybe they will in 2019. They haven't announced that yet, but for sure.
Reno. I think Reno next. And then, I can't remember. Oh, no, that was RT. That's right, RT, yeah. Anyway, there's so many I get.
Yeah, so you'll have to get to Arizona too, like Phoenix, and it's just funny. Phoenix, Tempe, but like that whole area, bridges. And I'm like, this is the strangest thing. Why do you have a bridge in the desert? But I guess, when it rains and they don't have anywhere for the water doesn't soak in that fast, and then the rain stops, they have to, got to be able to drive around it, I guess. It's the first time I ever saw a tumbleweed too, was in Arizona.
I see that. I love American history. I think it's so fascinating, and we can learn so much from it.
Yes.
All history. I mean that about all history, actually. I'm a huge advocate in teaching history, and us, hopefully moving forward with those lessons learned.
Right, you hope, because otherwise it's going to keep repeating itself.
Yes, I know.
Right, exactly. As they say, we'll just keep repeating itself. Yeah. Yes, so The Chase for Vanessa released in June, so that's in Barnes & Noble, and Deborah keeps saying, yes. She's so
wonderful. Thank you, Deborah. Thank you for joining us tonight.
And then the game will be in 2 weeks.
August the 29th. So a couple of Tuesdays away. Might be less than 2 weeks now. Where are we? What day is it?
2.5 weeks.
Yeah. Okay, 2.5 weeks.
Well, I guess technically it was 2 weeks from yesterday, I guess.
Okay.
That's really, unless you count the 29th itself. So 2 weeks from yesterday.
Okay, wonderful. And then the prize is next year. So, but that'll come around quick. So, and we're really excited about the 3 books. We're excited about how they end, and Tobias and Zara are a really fun couple too. So, yeah, thank you.
Yes, so check out your Barnes & Noble so you can find Vanessa's paperbacks. They will be there. And the next year, they'll be everywhere. So you'll have to look for them outside of Barnes & Noble next year. That's exciting. And then I can be taking my little screenshots and saying, look.
I know, you'll make my day. I love getting pictures of the books. Send them my way. I love it. Thank you. I'll share them on my page.
It's so great. I can't wait to say, these are some of my, my authors. I can't wait to see this my person.
Thank you. I'm so grateful.
Yes, I'm sure it's phenomenal. I mean, it just has to be a great feeling if you ever walk into a Barnes & Noble and be like, oh, I wrote that.
It is amazing. Yeah. I mean, by the time I think I walked in, I was just finishing up on the prize, and I was exhausted, to be honest. So I kind of went in there and dragged myself in there, but it was exhilarating to see the book in there. I really had worked hard on these books. It's a lot to write 3 books in a short amount of time, but and get them to that standard. But yeah, it has been a highlight walking and see them. It's a highlight of one of the highlights. Yeah. So just knowing that more readers are discovering me, and and I'm finding my way in the romance community. I'm very grateful to be here. So, yeah.
Yes, and all those great books. If y'all have not caught up, if you're watching and you're not caught up on the Enthrall series, you have time to catch up so that you don't miss the Enthrall forever.
And then Enthrall is free right now. Enthrall is free on iBooks and Amazon, Nook and Kobo, and Smashwords, I think. So you can actually pick up the first book in the Enthrall sessions for free. There's also a box set if you missed the freebie. I think the freebie will be for another week or so, maybe longer. I have to talk to Deborah. But yes, sessions. So that's kind of a really sexy erotic romance series. So super sexy.
Yes, for sure. And that one does have some BDSM elements.
It's a BDSM club. It's based on a BDSM club in Los Angeles. Yes. So there's some pretty heavy BDSM in there. Yeah.
Which is one of some of my favorites to read. I love reading about those, and especially those. I mean, it's just, it's different. It's not something I've ever experienced, and it's really neat to me.
Oh, I think Enthrall Her, the series really picked up off when Enthrall Her was released, because there's a different dynamics between the characters. So I think you'd love that. I'll get the book to you. I'll get Enthrall Her to you.
Oh, that would be great. Yes, I have to read that.
You've probably got a very long reading list. I can only imagine that.
It's great. Those things are just great stories. Like I go into like cycles. Paranormal is my absolute favorite to read.
Yes.
But I don't get to read a lot of it. As I have my favorite authors, I'm very picky, I guess, about my paranormal. And so I have my favorites. They only release like once a year. So I have to wait until they are, they're here. They're getting out of the car. I hear them. That I'm sitting right over our garage, so I can hear them coming in the house, or coming in the garage at least. So, but anyway, hopefully they'll stay in the basement. He hasn't looked at my message to say. Yeah, I'm telling you, my daughter walks like an elephant. She's loud, and so when they come in, they'll be.
I don't was traumatized and saying you had to be in the basement because of that author.
Right, exactly. Well, instead my husband decides to come upstairs. Anyway, but so, and then like reading the BDSM is like one of my second favorites, and so it's easy to find stuff that I like in that element. Just the differences. A lot of the books are not the same, because obviously they're all different, like different places, but there's not like a whole new world building that you have to get used to. You know what I'm saying? Like the clubs and stuff, you have different people that have different fetishes, I guess, so to speak, different strengths that are their likings. But whereas like the paranormal for me is way picky, because people write their paranormal characters different. That either magical, or they're just shifting, or they're vampiric, or there's all different kinds. So you pickier. But I absolutely love BDSM stories. So yes, sure, Deborah. Get the hook up over here. But so y'all will have to look, if you're a blogger and you're watching, you will have to subscribe to the Bueno Michi press list so that you can get
right now Deborah and Drew over at Michi Bueni Amici Press, PR, they're giving out ARCs via Harlequin for the chase and the game, and they'll also help with the prize when it's time. So if you are a blog reviewer, don't worry, it's not too late. If you want to come on board, we'll get you an ARC of the chase and the game too. So we'll get you 2 books. So if that's something you'd love to do, we'd love to have you. So Deborah's organizing that. So check their website and message Deborah and Drew, and let's see if we can do that. I'd love you to join this.
Yes, that erotic romance. Well, the contemporary romance with some sexy scenes, some passionate scenes.
Yeah.
Yes, Deborah says, don't worry, I can't say it either. I know I have to have Drew tell me frequently how do you say that word again? Bueno amici press. I don't know, I don't speak Italian.
Bueno amici, that's right. Yeah, I think this Deborah's saying I'm saying it right.
Yes, she just says I can't say it either. So we're not the only ones. Owners can't even say the name. Whatever. It means good friends.
Yes.
So good friends press.
They named it after themselves. Deborah and Drew are very good friends, and they both had their own marketing and blog. It was more, they organized blogs for other authors, and they offered author services, and they're pretty amazing with what they've done. The authors they've represented, from Alessandra Tor to Audrey Carlin, and they just came together to launch this new company. And I just was so excited to be with them again. I'd had Deborah do some help me with the ENTHRALL sessions to promote that. And when they opened their PR firm, it was fun to join them, and yeah, and it's fun working with them. It really is.
Yes, they're so different from one another. You like how we're talking about you behind your back to your face, Deborah, as I'm looking at your name over here on the thing.
An author, definitely check them out, because they have some amazing packages that are, you know, very affordable, and they're going to help you get your brand out there.
Definitely, and they have different strengths. I mean, they've both been in the business for years, and it's they definitely they have the same experiences, so to speak, but they play off of each other. How they, oh, she's laughing. You know, what they like and are most comfortable with. You know, like Drew will handle one aspect, whereas Deborah does the other, because it's their strengths. And I like how they play off of each other to make their authors successful. So
it feels it's a very relaxed, very supportive environment, so it's a good fit for me, you know.
Yes, gotta have that support. That's a big thing, because there's a lot going on in this industry. You have to have,
and there are changes. I was really impressed. We've had obviously meetings online, and they're really up to date with what's going on in the community, because things change so quickly in this industry. So it's nice that they're aware of what's going on. Yeah.
Yes, for sure. Because you can get lost in the fray really easily. Yes. Well, I appreciate you joining me, and please tell your husband I thank you for allowing you to take tea time.
It's been so much fun. Thank you so much for having me here and hanging out with you. And
thank you.
Get your family out the basement now.
Yes. They can return to the living quarters.
Yes.
I don't have anything to do downstairs. It's where, if you see it, it looks like a tornado went through there, because their toys are like everywhere. I mean, not only does my living room look like that, this is like my son's playroom. He's 5, and he's got all his toys all over the floor up here. But then downstairs, both of their toys are all over, not to mention my husband's toys. He's got a pool table and stuff down there, and so it's like, really? Everywhere.
That's what a home is. That's the difference between a house and a home. You know, that's fantastic. You've made a home. Yeah.
Thank you. Yes, it's definitely lived in.
Yeah. Mine too. Mine too. Yeah. I never worry about the occasional sock that's lying around or or more. I'm like, yeah, this is our home. You know, this is where we get to be us. So yeah. Thank you so much, Stephanie.
You're welcome.
Had so much fun, and we'll stay in touch.
Yes, for sure, for sure. Thank you. I appreciate it. And enjoy your tea.
Thank you. I will.
And we'll have to I'll talk with Deborah about when the 2018 rolls around, to make sure we get you on the schedule to come back.
That would be amazing. Thank you. I'd love that.
You're welcome. Yay.
Thank you.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Night.